Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nightmare Collective. I'm Chris. Thanks for stopping by and watching my review for Skinamarink. Alright, so Skinamarink is directed by Kyle Ball. It was made for about $15,000, and if I knew what it was about, I would tell you. But the premise of the movie is that two kids wake up kind of like in the middle of the night. Time is nebulous in this movie and makes no sense. But they find that their parents are missing, and so they're trying to find them. So this is very abstract, very experimental. You know, I will second a sentiment that Chris Stuckman said. I watched his video, a few days ago, just kind of see what his consensus was on it. I do like his opinions. I'm looking forward to his Shelby Oaks movie, so good luck, Chris, if you ever watch this. I'm excited for that. But it is an experience, man. This is not a film. I would not say this is even a good movie because it's more of an experience than a movie. It's, akin to, like he said, Paranormal Activity and like Blair Witch. I would say even more akin to Blair Witch, because Paranormal Activity, even though it was a new type of movie and that genre had been dormant for a while, you got the gist of it. There were characters, there was a plot, and so you had stuff going on. Blair Witch was not that. I mean, you kind of had to piece stuff together, so you're just watching it very intently, being like, what am I watching? What is going on here? And even at the end, you're still left wondering, what is going on here? So in this movie, you're following these two kids, and like the angles are shot from the kind of their level, or like just obscured angles, and so it's very weird. It's a very interesting movie, and I think one of the things I like about it is that in the void, the blackness, the way this is shot, there is terror in that. Sometimes there's terror in nothing happening unless you're that little rolly phone, Fuck that guy. He's creepy. Anyway, but that is what's going on in this movie. It's a lot of abstractions. There's not a lot of like clear-cut plot or narrative going on. Even the dialogue is very muffled sometimes, and they put up subtitles. A lot of whispering going on. So these kids are trying to figure out what's going on. And so you're kind of within this like space between space you kind of get. I don't want to give anything away. Like there's not really anything I can ruin, but there are some shots that are pretty incredible for the budget that this movie has. And so, like I said, for being $15,000, to get this in a theater is pretty like astounding. Last year we got Terrifier 2, and that blew up in a way that I honestly didn't expect for being like super long and super gory, but that's awesome to see. Horror, yet again, is kind of surprising a lot of people and sustaining not only the market, but theaters, and kind of enthusiasm for these like lower budget, interesting movies is coming back, and I'm all for it. I'm excited for like weird, obscure movies that are doing and taking chances. So, are you going to see Skinamarink? Are you excited to see this? Let me know down below what you guys think about this movie. Or are you going to wait to check it out on Shudder? I wanted to just kind of support the filmmaker himself and kind of be like, hey, I do want to see this type of stuff. Even though it's weird and it might be obscure and not make any sense, I'm down for it. Kyle, you're watching this also. I get it. There's terror in the void. There's terror in nothing. There's a lot that's going on here that I'm like, I'm into that, Sort of weird here that I'm just like, I'm down for it. So like I said, is it a good movie? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you because I just don't know. Like I said, it's more of an experience than a film, but sometimes that's needed. We get a lot of movies, so sometimes it's nice to have an experience, and I really haven't had one like this in a long time, and I won't soon forget it. So that's my review and kind of thought piece on Skinamarink. Like I said, you can't really talk too in-depthly about the movie because it's so abstract that I don't want to describe moments, but I just want to say I respect the filmmaking. I'm super curious to see what this guy does next, kind of taking what he did and kind of expanding upon that, like maybe narratively. One nitpick before we go I do have is that I do think it is too long. Even an hour 40, even though that's not that long. Terrifier was 2 hours and a half, 2.5 hours, not 2 hours and a half. Anyway, what am I saying? I'm losing my mind. The terror in the void is here. I think some of it could be trimmed out. There's about probably 15, 20 minutes that I think was basically just nothing that I think we could trim out, and there would be a nice tight movie here that is super effective. There are some jump scares here, but they were not intrusive. I think they were warranted. The other thing is I do think this was a cool thing to see in a theater. I know I'm rambling on past when I said I wasn't going to, but you're here for it. So I think it was a cool experience in theaters, you know, like those moments were heightened by like the very loud noises and the kind of the surround sound that you get there. And another thing I will say is I'm glad I saw it there too, because I was able to hyper focus on this, and seeing it on this large screen and being able to just focus on that and like not be able to look at your phone or like talk to somebody was a cool experience. And I think it's something, even if you watch it at home, you need to set aside some time so you can just focus, you know. And I will say there's moments that I was kind of bored, but in the end, I think it was worth it. All right, so that's all I've got now. Again, let me know down below. Are you excited to see this? Have you seen it? What did you think? I know some of you are going to hate it and think it's boring. Some of you are going to think it's pretty cool. Still not a great movie. So I want to hear all of that down below. Let's start a conversation there. All right, and I'm going to link a few videos for you after this. But if you like what I do here, if you like physical media, if you like 4K reviews, if you like movie reviews and horror, definitely consider becoming part of the collective. And then I'm going to link my recent 4K review for They Live. Definitely check that out. I also did one for Cloverfield, so check both those out. And then I'll link my review for Sick, which is the Kevin Williamson co-written COVID slasher movie. So check both those out. Either way you go, I think you'll have a good time. And I'll talk to you guys later.